If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is March the 30th, 2024, and today the topic is Discordant Woman. Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys had a great, good Friday. Mine was just fine. Yep, mine was good overall. After the juice, man, all I did yesterday was pretty much try to rest up because I knew I had my evening um, Good Friday celebration over there at Mountain West Church. And so, yeah, man, day one of the festivities took place yesterday. Um, and I think everything went well. Everything went well for the most part. Um, I was just in here reflecting, like right before I went live, that man, well, one, how blessed I feel to be working at the church. I know I've been sharing with you guys different things and how this whole thing happened. I want to say maybe around this time last year and stuff like that. And again, it's truly a blessing. On one hand, I feel like it's probably like the easiest work I ever done, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is just comes very second nature. Like they're asking me to host something I do all the time. They ask me to put together little things, do things behind the scene. I do that type of stuff all the time. Um, I guess the only kind of difference is I kind of bounce ideas as a team and stuff like that. I'm used to, I guess, leading the team and things like that. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, working at Mountain West has truly been a blessing. And sometimes I feel like, is it too good to be true? um, but yeah, I felt the same way about my husband when I met him. So I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is a long haul thing. I don't know what the Lord's gonna do, but it's truly been a blessing. Those that follow me on social media, you may have seen a little sneak peek at um some of the things, whatnot. One thing I will say about Mountain West is I feel like they take the time to put in and add little extra touches that are just take it up above a notch. You know what I'm saying? Um, like for example, yesterday they had like free candy available where people could just go up to a candy machine and get like some little springtime looking candy and things of that nature. Um, I did end up securing my character performers, and so we had both the duck and the bunny out yesterday. Um, greeting people and yeah, I mean, it just was, it was real, obviously we had taken the time Thursday and, whatnot to kind of add those Easter elements to the church and stuff. And I just really love the little quote that's on our check-in desk, which says, "Silly rabbit, Easter is for Jesus." I thought it was so cute and everything like that. So, we're continuing the festivities today. We're going to have another gathering, and then right after, we're going to do our egg extravaganza. Um, yours truly, I was in charge of booking the petting zoo, so hopefully everything goes well with that. um, I'm going to be there early, helping to set up. It's very interesting because again, last year, the other lady was doing, I guess, all of this type of stuff. So she just was like, "Oh, just come in on well, one there was only like 2 gatherings. So this year there's 6 gatherings. Okay. Um, so she was like, "Oh, just come," last year. So I just came, and it didn't work it. So this year it's like I'm working all of them, but I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. It's been a great experience. I'm trying to think there's anything else to share. Oh, well, yeah. Yesterday we broke our fast, me and my little family, or me and my husband, because again, my son, he still pretty much eat whatever. But we got together as a family and did communion to break the fast. And my husband was leading it and stuff like that. And it was a beautiful moment that I hope that my son will continue to remember and things like that. And yeah, man, yesterday was a great day overall. I was still, was taking in godly content, by the time I got out from work and came back home and stuff like that, then that's when I finally, I guess, watched a couple of movies and stuff like that and some regular shows. But I still decided to go ahead and fall asleep to my, you know, um, godly prayers and stuff like that. And I woke up to that this morning. I can't remember the exact time that I got up, but by the time I looked at my phone to confirm what time it was 8 o'clock. And so I went, I kept that in my mind. And then I went and plugged that into the Strong's Concordance. Matter of fact, I'm just now remembering that I didn't even do the prayer meditation this morning. Because I guess I got so engulfed in that. Like by the time I came back and looked into 800 or 8 o'clock, I plugged it into the Strong's Concordance and I came across words that represented discordant woman. And that I guess just resonated so much that I just ended up going deeper and didn't even do the prayer meditation. So whoops. So I don't know what they were talking about on the Soul Space app. Um, but yeah, so that's where the topic came from today. And honestly, as I was going deeper, I just was like, I mean, not to be like, this one's for the ladies, this one's for the ladies. No, because honestly, I think if even if a man is listening to me, there might be something of significance for you, in regards to, I guess, helping to understand the type of woman you should be going for and things of that nature. But yeah, man, the more I was going deeper about this discordant woman phrase, the more I realized that, well, one, I definitely have witnessed women operating like this, and then, I have to even question myself, like making sure I'm not, walking like this, and talking like this and being like this, and stuff like that. And I ended up checking out an article at gotquestions.org that I kind of felt led to send like all three of the ladies that did the fast with me. Two of them are already wives. One of them aren't is not one yet. But still, my whole thing is like, we should probably take this article and strive to not be this discordant woman. Um, Not just for our husbands, but for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really, and that's another thing. I thought about this morning. As much as people try to make it seem like women have no influence or women are, being put down in the Bible and things of that nature, um, I feel like the Bible shows us so much or just how much influence we have. And I feel like, again, as I was going deeper with this topic of discordant woman, it just pretty much reiterates over and over again, again, the effect that this type of that women or this type of woman in particular has on her husband, on her household, on her family, and it goes on like when you truly think about it. So this might be pulp this morning if you are a discordant woman or if you're with a discordant woman. But hey, if not, I hope this will encourage you and inspire you, on whatever level you're at. If you're not discordant, then don't continue not to be. If you're, are single and looking, then keep these things in mind. If you are, coming up as a woman and you're trying to, I guess, decide how you're going to be, then I hope, again, this will encourage you and inspire you. So there's a little song for everybody, I think, in this conversation about discordant woman. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I looked up the definition of discordant, and it says being a variance, disagreeing, incongruous. And ultimately, I just noticed that it kept saying all these extra words, and I'm like, and then it had discordant as a part of it. So I was like, let me find the actual definition because, again, you can't define a word with the word. um, so I ended up looking deeper about discordant, and I came across this phrase that says not in agreement or harmony. So we can go deeper and look into all those big old words, right? And make sure we understand them and stuff like that to see what discordant means. Um, But ultimately, I mean, I think just breaking it down, saying not in agreement or harmony, it definitely made me automatically think about several verses. So I just plugged in that at discordant. I plugged in discordant woman at openbible.info, and quite a few of those verses that came into my heart and mind came up in the search. Um, but yeah, I mean, the Bible has plenty to say about women. I noticed that all of the verses that I got today came from Proverbs, and I kind of chuckled at that a little bit because my understanding is Proverbs was written by Solomon, right? And I guess Solomon would have a lot to say about women since he had how many wives? I don't know when it like it was in the hundreds. I know that for sure. So I mean, yeah, if you got hundreds of wives, I guess you would have a lot to say about women, and especially discordant ones, right? Um, yeah, so that's on a whole nother level and whatnot. But let's get into some of these verses, man. Let's hear what some of these characteristics look like. Okay, so Proverbs 21:19 says, no, let's start with this. Proverbs 21:9. It says, "It is better to live in a corner of of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife." So again, this verse says it's better to live on the roof than in the house with a quarrelsome wife. Now, obviously, again, it's talking about wives, and we already established that every woman ain't a wife. But still, I think, again, just thinking about women in particular, if you are a quarrelsome woman in general, it seems like it's more better to live that much away from you, live on the rooftop. I mean, that's definitely a nice caricature. Like somebody probably could make that as a good art cartoon, like, and then put that verse. Like I just gave y'all a good. I don't know. Maybe GSL should do that. Maybe I should get somebody to make a cartoon that talks about this, all these different um, words of wisdom that hopefully will again be a inspiration. Like again, for the man, it's pretty much telling us, hey, instead of getting with the quarrelsome woman, get with the woman, a prudent wife, they say. Now again, it's and let's put balance in this, okay? That don't mean that again the woman shouldn't have nothing to say and da 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 da, da, right? Um, but it does mean like again how she handles you and how she handles situations and communication and all that stuff is important. Um, that's all. Again, we can go deeper, but let me share some more verses. So then let's do Proverbs 21:19. It says, "It is better to live in a desert land than with a quarrelsome and fretful woman." Now it's a step above quarrelsome, fretful as well. Again, go deeper. Let's make sure we know what all these words mean. But yeah, it's better to live in a desert land. Now, I mean, it could talk about an actual desert, or it could just be talking about a land alone. It's better to be alone than with a quarrelsome and fretful woman. But I mean, let's, and I know we might feel some way, women, right? We feel some way that all of this that's directed towards us, right? But on the flip side, like, let's, I think again, there's equilibrium, right, in the Bible. So I think perhaps it may be, um, I'm not trying to add or whatever, but I'm thinking that this goes for the man too. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe you shouldn't be quarrelsome to your wife, things like that. I mean, um, but hey, it is specifically talking about the woman in here. I mean, look, let's be honest, ladies. There's plenty of us that are operating like this. Matter of fact, I was reflecting on some of the things I've seen on social media, and I know people have been complaining about all kinds of things when it comes to, especially dating. Though, oh my gosh, like with all the dating stuff that I be seeing, it makes me so thankful that my husband took me off the market. Look, almost 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because it just really is a tug of war between men and women. The battle of the sexes, y'all. Like honestly, like And then it's like sometimes men can't win from losing. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, granted, it may not have been the best choice for a start, but I saw recently, I think it was over the last week, that this lady was complaining, and she was saying that this man, she didn't call him a man, she called him by his name. So that's another thing too. So you didn't have no respect for this man, whoever he was. But anyway, she said this man planned for me and him to go and feed the homeless on for our first date because I told him that I do that once a month. And she just was going in about that. And you know, some people were like, he probably thought that it could be something to bond with you, you know, or whatever. Or maybe he dodged the bullet by not, I guess, getting with you because you're not considerate. Now, here's my thing. I get it. When you think of a first date, maybe you don't necessarily think about going to feed the homeless. But here's my thing. Now, I don't know them. I don't know the details of the situation, right? But I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, if a man took out the time to plan this thing to do with you, something that you said that you do, um, then to me, again, yes, it shows that he listened. It shows that he took the time to plan it. And who knows, like maybe he never did it. Like maybe it's not something that he usually do. And he decided that, you know what, I'm willing to do this with you. So let's do it as our first date. Now, I mean, I get, you know, again, I guess that, you know, you might just want to get to know him or whatever, and you maybe expected something different as a first date. But I'm like, let's not knock the man for trying. You know what I'm saying? Like you must not understand how rare that is for a man to plan something. Like, I mean, the man planned it. Like, you say you enjoy doing it. Did you lie? You know what I'm saying? So just go on the date. You know what I'm saying? And do something nice for the community. And who knows? Maybe he had a nice picnic or something planned after. Who knows? But my whole thing is like, what's so bad about that? You know, I get it. I get it. It make again, you might want to have just went to a restaurant or something. Who knows? But and again, the reason is, and I don't know the individual people, so I don't know why he decided to plan that. But I'm not gonna be mad. But that's just me. You know, that's just me, and everybody's different. You know, so obviously she was very mad about it, and then went to social media about it. We all know what was that last year about the good old what was the name? Cheesecake Factory lady. She didn't want to get out the car because the man took her to Cheesecake Factory. And just people, you know, and this is why they say what they say about us as women. You know what I mean? Like just go on the date. Do you want to go on the date? Do you want to eat? Like, doesn't matter. You know, like now I get it. Like sometimes, you know, okay, so I'm reminded of my husband and I's first Valentine's, our first Valentine's together. And we didn't necessarily plan it out, so we decided to go out to eat. Now, um, he originally took us to this it was a it was a restaurant, but then they didn't necessarily have seating. So that was the only reason why I was like, okay, so you know, we got kind of dressed up and there's nowhere to sit, and stuff like that. And so then we ended up going to like another restaurant that was kind of like down the street from the place that we went to originally, and we had a good time there. Now, by all means, you know, but it was I didn't make a big stink about it. Like even if we didn't go to the other place, I mean, maybe I would have still been like, okay, well, you know, we'll figure out a way or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like don't knock the man from trying, y'all. Like, goodness gracious, man. Like, ain't nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. I mean, I've been a couple of times. It don't seem. I mean, no, I haven't been on a date there, but I mean, last time I remember, it was relatively nice. I mean, I don't know. Like, people be anyway. So we're talking about these discordant women, okay? Look. Let us try not to be one, and let's try not to marry one. If you're a man, you know what I'm saying? So anywho, let's give you another verse. Mm, Proverbs 27:15. It says, "A continual dripping on a rainy day, and a quarrelsome wife are alike." Ooh, a continual dripping on a rainy day. Oh man. Now some people might like the sound of a drip. I don't know, but then some people find that to be very annoying. The constant sound of a drip or something like that. Um, listen, y'all. I was reminded this week again of the phrase that, especially when it comes to married people. Okay. Um, you're you and your husband, your husband and your wife, we are teams, man. You are a team. You're on the same team. We're not like opponents. Some of the, I guess, quote unquote reverse relationships I've had with dudes that it felt like um they wanted to compete with me. And I'm over here like I'm trying to, we're in this thing together. Like we're together on this. I thought like we could be a power couple, you know, things like that. I mean, when you're a couple, right? You're supposed to be one, but then you're fighting against each other at all times. I mean, again, how can two walk together lest they agree, as the words say? We might not like this juice this morning, y'all. It might be bitter. It might be full of pulp. Y'all don't like it, but I mean, again, this is it's just a nice little reminder, man, of what we should be or look for. Um, Here's one more verse, y'all. This might be the most offensive of them all, but here it is. Proverbs 11:22. It says, "Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion." Ooh, man. I mean, again, I definitely have made observations of this. I think not just say social media, but mainstream media plugs these type of women into our faces all the time. Especially, I would say African American women are being put out there in a certain way. Um, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll watch those, mindless, reality shows and things like that every now and then. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching them for the entrepreneurial inspiration. And I guess maybe the drama or whatever. But my thing is like, honestly, a lot of friendships and relationships and stuff are not like how those things are. I feel like those things are like a puffed up version of what is happening. Not to say the stuff ain't happening, because there are definitely women in my regular life that I've observed that are walking in this way that this these verses talking about. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's very interesting how again there's a certain narrative about women being put out there, and like I said, especially when it comes to the African American community, um, where it's like, oh, this is how women operate. You know what I'm saying? And so people go to brunch and then they go at it. You know what I'm saying? People, they're with their husbands, they talking down and all this different type of stuff, right? And I mean, for the most part, even though I did share with you guys earlier this week that I may have lost a friend, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, the friends that I do have, the friends that are consistent, the friends that are, there and stuff like that, I don't have these issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that they got lives. I do check-ins. I do like, hey, girl, can we go to brunch? And we have some good moments and then stuff like that. And there's no like, nagging, no nitpicking, no arguments, no blow ups, no being quarrelsome, none of that type of stuff. And even with my husband, I try my best, even though it seemed like he want me to be some naggy woman, that I am just not. No, I'm trying my best not to be that at all. And honestly, there's only a couple of things that me and my husband disagree about. That unfortunately is very important to me. Um, but regardless, I mean, I try my best again not to be or operate this way. And again, like I was looking at these verses and man, like, oof, who would want to be around such a woman? And so a lot of times we wonder why we single. We wonder why things don't work, why relationships ain't working out, why friendships ain't working out, like all these different type of things. Honestly, sometimes we just got to look in the mirror and make sure that this is not what we are putting out there to the world. Are you being a discordant woman? Are you with a discordant woman, gentlemen? Um, if so, depending on where you are in the relationship, if you're just dating, then it might be time to move on. Okay. If you're in a marriage, then okay, that might be a little different. It might be time to, have some conversations, things of that nature. And then if you are being this way, women, again, let's try our best to not be. Let's try our best to do something different in 2024. And yeah, man, that's ultimately the juice this morning, man. I ain't got too much to add to that. You guys can go deeper about all these things. Plenty of verses in the go deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. And you can even check out that article at gotquestions.org that I was telling you guys about. It pretty much is in reference to that last verse, and it's called How is a Shameful Wife Rottenness to Her Husband's Bones? Check that article out, y'all, and see if it will resonate with you, if there's anything that you can, again, work on. And I guess ultimately that's the juice. Now, the Bible verse of today is Romans 6:5. It says, For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day. And I look forward to talking to you all on Monday, if the Lord's will. Bye bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.